Glad to see that I could help make your life a bit easier. But have you ever thought of how I felt? You need to think about your behavior.
Yes, I said I'd come back Sunday, and I did. It is Butch On Sports, simply Butch's here. Again, thanks for tuning in, boys and girls, on this special Sunday edition of Butch On Sports. I'll try to be as nice as I possibly can. Not promise you anything, but I'll try to keep it real as much as I can do possible. Again, this is Butch On Sports, and as always, thanks for tuning in again, boys and girls here. Let's get to some football. As presently, I am looking at the oh, I'm presently looking at the Kansas City New England game, and this is going to be a wild one at the end. Kansas City came back in the second half and scored 7 points after New England in the first half had a 14-0 lead. So this ought to be good. This ought to be good indeed. So we'll keep you abreast on that there while we're going on with this podcast edition of Butch On Sports. And let's have at it with the first game that most of you may or may not saw. Danton Fowler pressured on Drew Brees. In the overtime, he caused the interception by safety John Johnson. Greg Zuerlein, as they were saying in the game, he was hitting field goals 60 yards and better. He had a 48-yarder to tie the score in regulation and a 57-yarder in overtime after the interception to give the win to the Los Angeles Rams. They will go to the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. However, boys and girls, it doesn't always seem to amaze me that, in the biggest games in town, you can get the biggest screw-ups in the world. And there's nothing no one can do about it. At least at this point in time. Because I know talk is it's going to be full. If you didn't see, the official didn't throw a flag on the obvious third down pass interference on Rams cornerback Nicky Robert Coleman, who blasted Tommy Lee Lewis before the ball got there and wasn't called at all. No passer interference or roughness or anything, and was blatantly an interference call. And that was the play of the game. In my judgment. But some people said it wasn't the play of the game. Instead of first down, that could have bled the clock off for the Saints. They kicked the field goal. And the Saints had a brief lead until the Rams came on down and tied it with 15 seconds left. So, in that saying, Robbie Coleman didn't look for the ball. He just blasted Lewis clear to you know what. And nothing was called. The field goal gave them the lead, the Saints. But that penalty not being called could have probably gave them the game because they could have bled the clock out. No timeouts were there at all. Period. I tell you. Ooh. There's so much you can say about the climate on why things are not done the way they should. First thing you say is, why couldn't officials get together and say, hey, what did you see? Or the officials having the ability to look at film. It's under 2 minutes. They're upstairs have that ability as well. It wasn't change of possession, true enough, but it was, again, a call that should have been looked at, up close and personal, and overruled, giving the Saints the ball. Some rules are for the good, and some of them are just not complete because there's always a loophole involved. But again, this will be talked about for days, maybe weeks, maybe months, and maybe go into the meetings as another kick in the rear end for those players who give so much and depend on a group of people to call the game straight down the middle. Well, they do call it straight down the middle. There's ugly calls for both teams. But the cost of the team a game and kind of the biggest audience in town kinds of leaves a bad taste with the NFL, I tell you. Oh, boy. Speaking of bad taste in the NFL, here's a guy, Scott Lynham, okay? He was with the Detroit Lions until they fired him. Somewhere down the line, someone was not getting along. Or at that time, the Lions had one of the crappiest offenses in the world. And some of the play calling for the Dallas Cowboys had that same mood as Jason Garrett had announced that it wasn't an easy decision to deal with regarding Linehan as a football coach. However, as a person, he had some real good positives, and they had an open discussion that took place, and later, felt it was best for them to part ways in the best interest of all parties concerned, of course. And they got to make a change on offensive coordinator position, so maybe see the Dallas Cowboys getting Jim Bob Cooter. That's a thought, isn't it? That's a big thought indeed here. Running back free agent, we're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs now moving up the field here after being in a deep hole here. And then, I mean, deep hole indeed. As the New England's defense is doing a pretty good bottle job for Mahomes, the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs there, as a 14-7 game, New England leading there. We're talking about Kareem Hunt. He's going to be probably back for some stint in 2019 season. However, Hunt won't be with Kansas City because they got rid of him. He will be suspended for a nice little lengthy time, the league said, and he will be allowed to come back during the 2019 season. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network reported the league said the free agency began, which doesn't include Hunt because he was dropped by the team. That means that after the season's over, any team can talk to Hunt and apply their bid for to getting this particular player. Once that happens, they can commence for him establishing a team that he's going to be playing with, and also being able to practice with for a certain period of time if they choose to allow him during the suspension. But also he's going to be suspended for a course full of games during the regular season. Of course, Hunt was let go by the Kansas City Chiefs after a video of him assaulting a woman surfaced and that was the end of his career with Kansas City. I'm just saying. Not 300, but 103 players are going to be in the NFL draft right now at basis right now, who's put in their paperwork and all the other good stuff there. 303 players. 32 of those players have graduated and also are eligible for the draft. So that's a total of 140 something players. No, well, 135 players exactly. That's going to be in the NFL draft. 32 players who have graduated. They've fulfilled their requirement for a degree. Only 32 players. Once upon a time, it wasn't that way. The numbers were the other way around, but now players can come out early, thus making it very limited. They have a lot of eligible players in. So only 32 players are eligible for the draft because they graduated there. Of course, the draft is going to be April the 27th through April 25th through the 27th. That's in Nashville, Tennessee. They have been notified by the league and fulfilled their degree requirements. And only one player out of the state of Michigan's colleges is under that 32 player mark there, and that's Xavier Crawford, defensive back from Central Michigan. It's a legal tender because he's graduating and everything and ready for the draft. That's somewhat very special there. Of course, a lot of these players who don't think they're going to be touched by the NFL or have already signed with the new football league that's getting national attention on CBS radio and sports, the American Amalgamated or Alliance League or Conference there. It's going to be commencing starting February the 7th. So there you have more football right after the Super Bowl for a mini league for, again, many players probably will try to show their oaths to the NFL that they do belong in that particular entourage of a league there. Of course, they got to get some officials, and too bad they don't have a camp for that, huh? Maybe they will find some good officials out of this particular new league, you know? What I saw today, if 6 officials are blind, criminal, crazy there, somebody saw something. A lot of replays going around. You mean somebody didn't look up at that scoreboard or somebody in that booth? Oh, boy. Maybe radio down and got them together, had a conversation. That was highway robbery at its finest. Of course, if you looked at basketball this weekend, Pistons lost in a buzzer beater. Mr. Hill took care of business for them. Sacramento Kings took care of business last night. That was so Pistons. Andre Drummond injured. Luke Kennard now injured. Mr. Smith injured. The main players, and Kennard was hot as a firecracker. He was averaging about 20 points a game the last 3 games. Luke Kennard, coming off the bench. That's going to hurt the Pistons because they don't have nothing or a player who want to use common sense and shooting the ball. Wait a minute. Come on. This is one player. I'm not going to mention his name because that's embarrassing. Took 10 shots, only made 2 of the 3-pointers. Doesn't something tell you that things don't, I don't know, but the average. And then the coach allowed you to do it there. You know, get somewhere where you can make a shot first. But, you know, that's just me. Blake Griffin, again, working his tail off. Uh, well, the Pistons will play tomorrow against the Washington Wizards in the afternoon on Martin Luther King Day. University of Michigan cut one. They lost. They're no longer undefeated, so tomorrow or Tuesday will be a day that everybody look at who's number one. Who cares? Boy, and what cracks me up, they got about 12 more games, 12, 13 more games. Most teams who's playing Division One basketball, they have those many games to go. So let it get exciting. Duke beat Virginia, too, undefeated. Who's going to be the number one team? Tennessee? Hey, I'm just saying, putting it out there. Michigan State won, so they're going to move up a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. But we'll see what jump off here. We'll see in the college tip. Some hockey. Professional hockey was played today. Not in Detroit, because down there was the Winter Fest Classic. Indoor and outdoor. People can skate on the rink and have conferences at the practice rink and curling and all kind of other good stuff. Inside, outside, with the wind chill factor at 10 below zero here. Yeah. I'm just putting it out there. I'm quite sure the people who did show up, they had a pretty good doggone time. But on the big screen, I know indoors and outdoors, they had on there the Red Wings game with the Vancouver Canucks. Elias Pettersson had a goal and assist in return from a knee injury. And, the Vancouver Canucks beat the Red Wings by a score of 3-2. Another one-goal defeat for the Red Wings. We've seen a lot of those this year. Get down the effort by the young Red Wings, but, whoa. It's got to turn around somewhere down the line there. By the way, this rookie's only 20 years old, and he missed 5 games. But he got 44 points already. Okay? Fred Nielsen, Thomas Vanek, if you just want to know who scored for the Red Wings, they did. Markstrom, Jacob that is, for Vancouver, he stopped 35 shots. Jonathan Bernier, he had 28 saves. Well, he let 3 go in. 28 saves, but that's 31 shots at the guy. 3 of them went in. Red Wings on this road trip, they're going to wind that up on Tuesday night when they play Edmonton in Edmonton. And after that, they're going to have some time off to do whatever they want to do. Why? Because it's the All-Star break in the NFL, or the NHL, I should say. And I just want to know how many people are going to watch the All-Star game. I mean, Saturday night might be exciting. They have the skills competition and all this other good stuff here. Edmonton has a brand new arena and stuff there, so they're going to try to make things real exciting for you. If I take a peek at this, I'll probably look at that. But the All-Star game in itself, I don't know. No, not a lot of Red Wings are in the on the roster. Jimmy Howard is. I was surprised at that one. But anyway, that says it all. Don't it, boys and girls? That says it all. On the Sunday night's edition of Butch On Sports, I'm just trying to say, as we see New England kicking off, so it's got to be a change in score. New England just kicked a field goal, so it's 17-7. New England in the third quarter. No, third quarter, yes. In the third quarter. Well, what can you say? Butch On Sports is a presentation of My Darling Productions. This is a Sunday edition of Butch On Sports. Thank you for listening and having fun. Tell everybody about Butch On Sports on Facebook. Boys and girls, go to Facebook, Butch On Sports on Facebook. Check it out. You can always get the podcast there. Also, go to Podomatic, SIMPLYBUTCHTOO.podomatic.com. You also can go to the game show. .com, that website, which we haven't had a show in a very long time, but I do believe we'll have one Monday. That begins at 6 o'clock. My portion coming about 6:45. And then you got the all-time great online version of just us talking, a bunch of stuff here. A lot to catch up with. We haven't been on the air for a while there. And who knows? I'm just saying. So, hey, have a good one, great weekend, remaining of a good Martin Luther King Day, all who are lucky to get the day off and all who did not. Try to be very peaceful with this doggone day here because a lot of people went to a lot of effort to get this taken care of. You know, for a great man who should have had this maybe years ago. Because a lot of things have changed these days. Hey, I'm out of here. Check you out on Tuesday.